So today, let's talk about organic reading or reading organically versus forcing an artificial system into the tarot or memorized meanings. And again, it's not that the Kabbalah is bad in any way, or that astrology is bad or numerology is bad or anything. It's just that the whole essence of intuition is working the right side of your brain. It's not just imagination. Matter of fact, it's not imagination, but it is work. Oh, hi everybody, welcome to Easy Tarot Lessons. So I'd like to just talk about why it's important, but also how to do read organically. And that brings up, where do we get structure from? Because we can't just say, oh, I'm an intuitive reader, I just say whatever comes out of my mouth. Every reader is an intuitive reader. Well, they should be, because if they're not, then they're not really a reader. Not a tarot reader. So, or, again, whatever we want to call it. I'm not a tarot reader, I'm a consultant, fine, whatever. The tarot is my, I don't want semantics getting in the way of the message. I say tarot reader, you can say fucking potato, I don't care. Potato. For those people who weren't born in the 20th century, I was born in the 19th century, what's wrong with you? You whippersnapper, bubble, damn fool teenagers. Darned fool teenagers. But it brings up the question of structure and reading artificially memorized meanings, forcing a formula in. Well, the Kabbalistic formula for the emperor is well, no, it never. If that was the case, then read the Kabbalah, don't read the tarot, because the Kabbalah has nice, rigid structure. That's like literally what it does. The tarot is a game that we use. Bill Murray there from Stripes. There's something wrong with us. 20th century, right? Even Bill Murray's like, oh my God, it's old. And so am I. Waka waka. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fozzie Bear. Right, I know everybody's like, stop it. Or they should be.
Well, Fozzie Bear should be known throughout the ages.
Right? Stop being this one. So he says, my point is that I think it's important that we don't just preach the gospel, but we take a look at it. We say, okay, so how do we read organically? What is organic reading? Why should we do it? Why should we avoid reading, forcing artificial systems in? Artificial doesn't mean they're bad in of themselves. It means that they don't belong in this. There's nothing wrong with petroleum. It makes Tupperware and it's gasoline, but you don't eat it. It's like improper use, right?
Yeah.
And then structure, because some people are so anti-structure, and God bless them, or Satan bless them. Whatever you believe in, bless you, right? But that's a good dark term, right? But this is where we get a lot of free card. I don't do, people like, well, other teachers, I won't rat them out, but like, there's no reading to do a 10-card spread. It's like, no reason. It's like, what? Wait, what? No. Okay. I'm not saying every spread is a special snowflake and has everybody has a purpose in life. Well, maybe they do, but not every spread. Spreads are created like books. There's good books and there's crappy books.
So the whole point about structure, if I think that was the last thing I was talking about, is people will go to great lengths to avoid structure, especially if they are the type who like to read the tarot, because when you think about it, the tarot really attracts people who want to develop their intuition, who want to have an artistic streak, who want to believe in new age things. And there's nothing at all wrong with any of that. and it doesn't defy logic, but it kind of leans us to one side where we just want to dress like gypsies and wear fairy wings. We know this because people do that all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. It's rare to see a tarot reader wearing a business suit and carrying a briefcase. I don't know. There's a survey of 2 that's not conclusive. But Sharon, comparatively, gypsy costume, business suit. Or
Gypsy
somewhere in between.
costume is what you see the most of. And the thick eyeliner. The goth girls.
Yeah. And you go in. Yeah.
I've just been booked to do a party, and she's asked me to come as a gypsy.
Oh no.
She actually asked me to for a hen party. Yeah.
Yay, Mandy the gypsy.
You could pull it off, though. You could.
I know, but I don't have a gypsy outfit. You know, it's not kind of part of the natural deal.
Wait, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Right? Then you call yourself a tarot reader. That's the thing.
Then it's fun, but then talking of being organic, it did get my brain going, and I thought, oh my God, I could get a whole range of different costumes. And as Gretel was doing a photography course, she could have me photographed as all these different characters. It's like, take your pick.
I like that. And you know what? Shutterstock, absolutely not Shutterstock. It's their structure. But stock.adobe. I'm not paid for either one of these. I'm just telling you, I've been down the road. And go to stock.adobe. You're going to get better. Plus your credits don't run out, and they don't trick you into, you must lock in and stay for an entire year. And if you miss your window, you're locked in for another year. Go with stockadobe.com if you're going to. But you go to these photo places, and because I have tarot websites, right? So I'm interested in what imagery is out there, and it just makes me cringe.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, is this what the public thinks of us? Or is this what photographers think? This is the only, there's no business. Matter of fact, look, anybody wants to make easy money with their tarot cards, here you go. This is a freebie. Put on a damned business suit, sit down in an executive office or whatever. Just go to anybody's office and say, hey, I'm just going to sit in your office. Throw out some tarot card spreads, like you're doing a corporate presentation or whatever. Take pictures and sell those on the photo websites. And I don't know, but I might be giving a $1 million idea, or it might be a $3 idea. But Mandy, dress up like that, and
if you were looking for a tarot reader, and you were just picking a random one online, I wonder how much people would go by what the person looks like as opposed to what it says about them.
Oh my God, I can tell you that one for sure.
Yeah, cool.
I have worked phone lines, I've worked the onlines.
Yeah.
And so I've seen, because you have to put up a picture, you have to write a profile.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So many deeply mysterious. For guys, it's usually the intense gaze. Women cross the gamut. They do what they do. But guys are pretty much pigeonholed. I'm not saying this is like some sexist thing. They do it to themselves. I am this, and yes, from my experience, plus all my years of working in the movie industry in Hollywood. God, I hate to say this, but it really is all about appearances.
Yeah.
Visual appearances too. It's part of the package you're selling. Look at your market stall.
Yeah.
Your market stall had to have a certain,
it had
a
a
certain
certain atmosphere about it. It did.
right, and you didn't go overboard or whatever. You just did things that were nice and that you thought were fun and
Yeah.
blended with your personality, but it definitely had, it generated a sense of expectation. You know,
I've got to be
people
honest.
walk up and knew what they
it,
were
it,
going to
it
get.
was very hard work, and it took a long time to set it all up every Monday.
Right.
And technically speaking, I could have just turned up with the 2 chairs and the table and just a clock,
Yeah.
and I could have. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And still done the same job, but
Oh yeah, people do
it
it.
wouldn't have been. It just. I just didn't even dare to let my mind even consider that, even though it would have been so much easier.
Oh, yeah, that'd be like me going online and stealing other people's code and turning it in for my computer class. It's like, sure, you know, anybody can do that, but the amount, yeah, because I'm taking computer science class. But the amount of effort that you put in really brought something to the market that's actually, I believe, missing at this point. You know, you were more than just a stall. You think about it, like shopping malls. They, you know, here comes Grandpa again. But back in my day, we had shopping malls, and the reason why we had them is the idea was that if you put enough cool stores together, it creates this kind of fun place to be. And that's the whole thing about the market is you had different people selling a lot of the same stuff, but they had decorations. But there was only one Mandy, and the same thing with the fair, that like the strawberry fair.
Yeah.
There's only one Mandy, and I don't want to insult you by saying you're kind of like a B-list celebrity at that place, but you're not the draw. You know, you're not like the band, but man, you really bring a lot of flavor. You're like a great supporting character.
Yeah, I think that's a very good analogy, actually. Yeah, that's how it felt.
And that's again why what are we talking about that? Because that really fits into the whole organic mentality.
Yeah.
Like, eat organic, read organic, whatever, you know. But so we're talking about reading organically. That doesn't mean exclusively intuitively. Well, that rhymed. Hey, how about that? It means, now again, when I say exclusively intuitively, what I should say is let the spreads give you structure. You know, because we need structure, kind of like children. You know, children hopefully should be able to run and play and do all the fun things that kids do, but they do need kind of a structure. They do need, you know, have rules. There are rules around
Yeah.
here. Same thing is let your intuition play, but don't let it turn into imagination. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean it at the end of the day, it needs to make some kind of sense, doesn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah, it needs to be of value to,
Yeah.
okay, first and foremost, it needs to be of value to your client.
Yeah.
Secondly, it does need to be entertaining. And thirdly, and this is also maybe most important for us individuals, as individuals and us individually, I suppose, but from our perspective, it needs to be fun. It needs to be something we actually enjoy doing. If it becomes a slog, we're going to give lousy readings. We're going to get bitter. We're going to, you know, it's just not going to be fulfilling, and we're not going to do our best work, aside from the fact that we're not going to have the time. So it really needs to do all of these things. And when we do this organically, when we have certain, kind of like, let's use your stall as an example. The market is at the same place every day.
Yeah.
They're open, what, 7 days a week, right?
Yeah.
You chose to go there on Mondays. So there was a certain amount of rigid structure. You knew where it was. It didn't change locations all the time.
No.
So you knew where to go, when to show up. And sometimes it's like, oh, I'm going to go to the market. You know, I'm jumping into your life and accusing you of things, but I'm saying I know for a fact that sometimes, even if we love our routine, it's like, well, today's a little tougher than others. But once you were there and everything was set up and all, like you said, all the hard work, you had to put all that up from nothing.
Yeah.
Well, once it was there, then you were allowed psychologically and quite realistically, physically, to just kind of play, to just enjoy reading. And that's, so let's take that as an analogy real quick.
It's no different to Mrs. Bubbles. It's no different to Mrs. Bubbles. Like every time I do Mrs. Bubbles, I have to do all the hard work. I have to load up my car. I have to kind of like find where I'm going. I have to find somewhere to park, whatever, unload it all, set it all up. And then I play for 2 hours, and then I kind of set it all down again. And the playing bit is the kind of thing that makes me want to do it, because that's the bit that I enjoy.
Right, and
I don't enjoy the rest of it at all. I kind of think, oh God, no. But I love it once it's all set up and off I go.
Yeah. Pop culture reference, like Cypress Hill says, it's fun job.
Yeah.
Fun job, but it's still a job,
Yes.
So if we want to read, or if we want to read really well, and we want to be awesome at this, and again, that's all I want, is I want you guys, everyone who's listening, whether you charge people or not, whether you do this for yourself or you do it for politicians, and there's no shortage of clients. That's the thing you need to understand. There will never be a shortage of clients. What we have is a shortage of good readers, and anybody can be a good reader. All right, yes, some of us need more training. Some of us have a native skill. Others need to have that brought out. But at the end of the day, anybody can, in finger quotes, anybody can do this. It's like anything else. You got to put in the effort. While we have school to kind of help you, you can do it on your own. That's fine too. But to get there, you got to have certain rules in place. Kind of like morals. Morals are rules that hold down the fort, so that you don't, if they're in place, then you don't even have to think about them. So if you have certain spreads that and you have your favorite deck or decks that you work with on a regular basis, and these decks inside and out, and I sure hope you guys are doing the practices, the exercises and the games in the white and the black book on a regular basis. It's not something we just do and forget, because the idea is to keep your mind, it's no different than Cirque du Soleil. Do you think these people stop exercising or stretching or learning new routines? They're doing that all the time. That's why they're, some of the top acrobats in the world. It's like, we keep our minds limber, we play with our cards, we have fun. So if you're doing all of this on a regular basis, then reading organically becomes easy, because it feels like your cards are talking to you. What's really happening is, I'm going to say plural, that the gods are talking through you. Or if you prefer monotheism, then you've got a direct line to the big man upstairs. Or the monotheistic matriarch, you got a line to the big woman upstairs. Either one is good. Point is, well, any of those are good. Thing is, rather than trying to figure out everything inside our own brain, and none of us is all that smart, do what Carl Jung said and tap into the collective unconscious. Whatever it is you feel that you have to tap into. The cards are more than just visual representations of life, or allegories, or things. It sparks my imagination to say this. No, it is a way is a translation device. Can there be, can we sit about and make a better translation device than the tarot? I'm sure nobody's done it. Well, no, I'm not saying nobody's done it. People have tried. We have all different types of decks. The animal medicine deck is crazy popular. Some people like it, some people don't. I don't happen to get it, but other people do. But the thing is that if there is a device such as the tarot or something else that allows you to send and receive messages, kind of like a ham radio, where you can connect with voices unseen, out in the world. You can speak and they can speak back. 21st century, you would call that a telephone. But the thing is that if you can reach out to the ether like that, the ham radio, just a long distance, I hear across the other side of the world in theory. But yeah, if you can do that, the whole point of this is you are able, and this is the core of what we want. You're able to connect with intelligence larger than your own. Now, if we want to add our own personal superstition, religious beliefs, mathematical formula, metaphysical formula, if we want to add that on top of this base system, well, that's what makes the world special. That's what makes us all little individual snowflakes, in a good way, because each snowflake is unique. But we can't pollute the message. We can't pollute the system. We can, but we shouldn't. Before we get a chance to transfer the information in and out. So the whole point of reading organically comes down to allow the structure to be like a bowl. And then you pour the cereal and the milk in there, and the bowl just holds it together.
Yeah, that's nice.
You don't worry about the bowl. You throw in the sink afterwards, and somebody else wash it, right? I don't know, Sharon. What do you think?
Yeah, that's how it happens in this house. No.
Well, yeah.
Mama wash
You
it.
washed it.
But no, that was a great analogy.
Oh, okay.
I do think it's the structure that actually gives you the freedom to be organic. I don't think the structure presents limitations. I think the structure just focuses, like where you're meant to kind of like be, and then it just all flows out within that bowl of where the structure has kind of pointed you towards that little bowl, and you just know you've got the freedom to fill that bowl up, with whatever comes through. It's marvelous.
Well, that's the thing, is that if we get too structurally bound, because this is where I want people will make this mistake more than they make the other. So for example, even though it's popular now to avoid structure in spreads, matter of fact, I would say that that's where we lose structures. People don't want to read spreads. Mm-hmm. Just want to pull cards out, or just throw a couple of cards out, as if like 2 or 3 cards can explain everything, or that's all you need to know because there's nothing more and I can't tell you. So that part's bad. The other part, on the other end of the spectrum, is too much reliance on an external structure, such as numerology or the Kabbalah. Now, there's nothing wrong with either one of these. These are just in vogue. This is the flavor of the week or flavor of the month for tarot. At some point, maybe astrology will come in and like, no, you have to do this rigid structure, or Zoroastrianism or some other belief system will be forced onto the tarot, that you cannot understand the tarot unless you know all of this stuff. Well, that's like saying you can't understand the difference between red and blue unless you've got a degree in hyperphysics, or you've gone to some art school who's I've never heard of. You know what I mean? I can go on.
It's almost like, okay, bear with me. Like the cards themselves, you have the organic. You see what they say to you. You listen to what's being said in your mind, and the card positions, the spread itself, just keeps the focus so that you keep the message to what is being asked. Because I've seen freeform readings where seriously, they go all over the damn place, and you walk away with so much information that isn't pertinent that it clouds the information that is. So the spread keeps the focus, and the cards are the open communication.
Yeah.
I like that. And this is essential information. This is stuff that it seems common sense when we talk about it, but when you go out in the world and you see what's going on, like, has anybody ever gone to school? Actually, no, they haven't, because tarot school is a very rare and small percentage population. Sure, a lot of people go to college or even high school. Yay. But God, percentage-wise, how many people go to tarot school? I know. I have a tarot school. I know one of the best tarot schools on the planet. There are others. There, maybe some of them are doing teaching a little bit, more students than I do. But I know the numbers essentially, and it's a very rare thing. And all of us are trying to do one thing: to make you guys better at this, because the better we can make you, the more the public will demand all of our services.
Yeah.
Maybe it's selfish by making everybody a great tarot reader. I just hang up a sign that says I'm a tarot reader, and people are going to say, hey, tarot readers are great. Therefore, I'm going to go see this guy. That way. So, structure. There's not really a hard answer on this. It's something we have to figure out for ourselves. But I want to point you guys in the right direction when I say tarot spreads, and as Sharon brought up so eloquently, card position meanings. This is where you want your structure.
Yeah.
You don't want structure, and it's like people have backwards. People are like, oh, I don't want tarot spreads. It's too much structure. It's you're limiting the brain, man. And then they jump right into the Kabbalah. They've never spent a lifetime studying the root religion, philosophy, language, music, culture of the Kabbalah. They don't understand the origins of it. It's like I could run around saying I'm an Egyptian priest. Yay. Now, maybe I went to Egypt, cool, hung out for a while. Maybe I lived in Egypt for a year. But when I say an Egyptian priest, I don't mean like a Coptic priest, or hopefully I didn't get that wrong. I mean, I go, I'm like King Tut, King Tut. Damn stupid, that guy, Steve Martin.
Steve
video.
Martin.
It's like it's the 1980s. What the hell's wrong with you people? Can't we get a millennial to teach us this stuff?
That's going to be in my head all day.
I'm going to be walking around doing the funky poses.
Born in Arizona, raised in
yeah,
Babylon.
Yeah, born in Arizona. Oh my God. Hey, look, as long as we're having a good time, right? So, yeah, no, I could do that, and I know some people who do this, and God bless you guys. Hi, I know I'm right. I guess I'm ratting you out. It's not my goal or mission, but come on, if you're not an Egyptian priest or priestess, and again, we can all put on costumes, or we can flavor. Now, this is, I want to be clear. We can flavor all of our magic or our belief systems with. We can infuse culture. And I'm not saying this is all cultural appropriation. We can say, hey, I kind of like this. I think I have a statue of Anpu around here. It's like, but it's a statue. It's like, hey, this dude's cool. So is Bastet. Yeah, I love Bastet. She's an awesome little kitty goddess. But I don't proclaim to be 17th generation reincarnation of, blah, 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 blah. I'm not even going to try to make up a name. Because it's disingenuous. But more important is that there's magic that works, and then there's fucking Harry Potter fantasy. Or Harry Potter, he gets picked on for everything with me. It is very popular to believe in metaphysics because we want to believe in Harry Potter. We want to believe, or we want to be special somehow. But there's so much more to it than that. Metaphysics is physics. It is a part of the scientific rational world, to which we can add superstition. Look, even scientists have religion, so think about that for a moment. That's an oxymoron, but it's a truism. But be that as it may, it's okay to add your own flavor. But when we're talking about, I am doing this, okay, let's say I'm a Christian. That's kind of funny, but let's say I'm a Christian and I'm a carpenter. Oh, crap. Hey, look, Jesus, Christian carpenter. I just figured it out. It's like, wow, that was a leap. It was unplanned. But let's say that I am. I don't need to bring my Jesus to every time I'm hammering a nail or sawing a wood or doing, building a house. Now, if I were, let's say, Amish and we were all, doing that for Jesus, then that would be a different thing. But no matter what my personal beliefs or religion, when I'm at work, I do my job. I'm a mechanic, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer. It's not that I shunt or shove aside my personal beliefs, but they are personal,
Right.
But that's that's something you should be carrying inside you. It's not something I'm an accountant. I can't do my job and try to infuse my spiritual beliefs into the numbers. It's like God is going to make these books balance themselves. No, numbers are numbers. So why do we do this as tarot readers? Why do we do this as gifted beings?
I think the more experienced you get at it, the more you do just instinctively know what is appropriate to say, at any given moment. And obviously you can't not know what you know as an individual person. You might know about the Kabbalah, or you might know about astrology, but it doesn't mean that you impose it every time you turn over a card. You might do a whole reading and not even think about, like you're saying, the Kabbalah or astrology, but there might come a point where you just know you're meant to use that personal knowledge, that the universe intended for you to use it in that moment,
right?
And that is being organic.
If you're a rabbi and you've studied the Kabbalah, among other things like the Torah and the Talmud and other such things, absolutely, that is part and parcel to your understanding of the world, and it can be a translation device for metaphysical into mundane. Okay, so here's how we say this, and by the way, the Kabbalah says blah blah blah, and so you've got some cred there, but if a book says, let's go back to Eden Gray, I've still got issues with her. 50 years later.
Yes, we're scarred.
Yeah, it's like, you cannot be a good tarot reader unless you know all of this stuff. And it's like, wait, I did the math on this, and in order for you to truly understand all of this stuff, you had to be a rabbi. And back in the 70s, no offense, but there weren't a lot of female rabbis running around in public. Just kind of wasn't a thing. I didn't invent this. You know, I'm not saying that the Hebrew faith is at all sexist. It wasn't so much of a thing. So how could she denigrate an entire, race? How could she castigate the rest of us and say, you can't possibly be a tarot reader unless you know this stuff? And who is she to say this stuff? But she read a book. She had a friend who, that's, I don't like pedestrian experts, just like jump on and, oh, I've read a book, therefore I'm this. The whole The Secret phenomenon. Oh my God, I had the best experience last night. I was in my video editing class, and we were talking about how I want to be able to make better videos and not make crappy videos. And, putting a lot of effort into the video is a lot. You literally have to stop what you're doing and do this. And we're trying to do the Lord's work here. Just don't have enough hands to put everything in. But I want to be able to do this. And I brought up The Secret. And everybody in class was like, what secret? What? Like, the video, the book? Like, what? No. These are, dare I say, some of the smartest people I've met in my life. God bless everybody, by the way. God bless everybody. Everybody's wonderful. Everybody's a snowflake. These people just happen to be really smart. And they're scholarly, and they were fascinated by this. They're like, oh my God, you teach metaphysics and always, interest in everything. They're like, secret? What? Wait, what? It just warmed my heart to know that the long national nightmare is over. Oh my God. Don't worry, there'll be another pop culture phenomenon of bad information for a buck that's going to come out. But hopefully the kids these days will never have to go through what we did. Oh man. Read organically. Look, if you're listening to this, if you're slogging through this, we do this all the time. I've been doing it for decades. Sharon's been doing it for decades. Mandy's doing it every day. She's getting better and really tearing it up. So we're trying to tell you from various levels of experience and various states of awareness, this is what works. And sure, we could probably add background music and work on production values, but we got stuff to do. We're out there actually doing it. I'm always working on manifestation. Sharon is busy running the school. Mandy's out there teaching, she's acting, she's reading, she's raising a daughter and a son. We're out there doing this. So I apologize that we don't have time to do nothing but make. We're not radio hosts, we don't put on a show and this just happens to be a topic. This is just what we do in our spare time. So production values aside, I want everyone listening to, well, I want you to keep listening, pay attention, but I want you to go out there and take this knowledge and do something with it. Whether, again, this is mostly for people that want to go out and quit their job and have a better life as a reader. I mean, $30 an hour is below standard. That's half pay. $60 an hour is standard. That means, but $30 to $60 an hour, that's more than most people in America make. I can't speak for the rest of the world, but I'm thinking that it might be more than most people make. It's not millionaire money, but it'll put food on the table very nicely. $60 an hour, now you're the industry standard. And then when you get really good at this, and that's the whole point, is we're not trying to teach you to be basic. We want you to be in the $100, $200, $300 an hour range. Now, at that point, the number of clients that you get on a regular basis kind of goes down. But at that point, you should be in demand and you should be on retainer. How do we do this? Go to school. That's, if not my school, go to somebody else's school, but go to a good school and learn how to do this and practice your ass off. Again, the reason why we have people who are doing this is because we are doing this. We can bring other people on who are doing this, but at some point, it's just like, hey, vanity, was it parade of vanities? Look at me, I'm doing it. Look at me, I'm doing it. It's like, that's not going to get you to do it. What's going to get you to do it is consistent, high value, quality information and motivation. What have I missed about reading organically versus structure?
Um,
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I just think
No, go ahead.
The storytelling, it's by having having the spreads. It's in my mind. I if I kind of like know the flow of the spread, then I will organically go with that, with my choices of what comes out of my mouth.
Or it gives you greater context.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't have to think about it too much. I just kind of instinctively, because I've done the spread so many times, like you say, get a few spreads and know them really, really well. So I instinctively kind of like know which direction I'm going with it. I just don't know what I'm going to actually fill it with until I turn the card over. And I find that so exciting.
Well, that.
You know what? Let's hold on real quick, Sharon. We should do a podcast on the totally unloved and underappreciated Celtic cross spread. But I want to talk about what Mandy said real quick, and I do want to hear what you have to say, Sharon. But real quick, the essence of something like the Celtic cross spread, we go back to it over and over because it's the most popular spread in the world, and because it's not a perfect spread, but it's a really good spread for what it does. As an example spread of what all spreads that you use should do.
Yeah.
This gives you a what happened, who did it, how it's going on right now, what that guy in the corner is doing. Are they helping or hurting? What's going on behind the scenes, and then how it's going to go out, but also what's going to happen next. Now, I mean, that's a lot of information. When you do that, because you mentioned storytelling.
Yeah.
We have all the beats, all of the points to hit.
Yeah.
The cards will fill in the story. If you got a fucking 3-card spread, you're not going to tell a story. You're just going to vomit out information. And chances are, and yes, I'm accusing you of it, every one of you, including me, chances are you'll end up making up stuff. And you'll probably do it on the spot. I would never do that. I would never do that on recording. We go back and go, look, you made up stuff. It's performance pressure. It's all these things that come in. But if you have a nice structure, if you have an overabundance of information, and this is what I like about a large spread, you've got so much information you can't tell your client all of it. So you don't even try. You focus on what they've asked about, what you need to know. It's kind of like being a lawyer. You have all of the interesting facts that are in the case, or Harry Potter. We don't need to know every aspect of the Harry Potter world. We don't need to know what the Dursleys did before Harry came along. We need to know the best parts, the most salient parts. And that's why a large spread, as Mandy said, gives you the tools to tell the story. Sharon, sorry to cut you off, please.
Not only does it give the tools, but Mandy touched on it when she said that it frees her to be able to use her intuition, because if you got a 3-card spread and you've got no direction to go, none of that structure, then you are under that performance pressure, like you said, and that instantly shuts down your intuition. When you've got a spread where you know what points to hit and what important information there is, you already have that part that's telling you what direction to tell the story in, and it just completely frees up your intuition to move along instead of going, wait, what,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm recent enough as a person that's learnt the tarot to really remember what it was like attempting to do readings before I had that kind of structure that could just support my intuition. And the difference is like unbelievable. It's all alive now, and it is all very sort of. I genuinely have a completely open mind before I do a tarot reading. I have absolutely no idea what those cards are going to say, but I do know the structure. Well, I don't know the structure when the person sits down, but once I know what they want their reading to be about, I am organically choosing and instinctively choosing what would be the right spread to get them the answer. So I then, have an idea of my structure, so I don't have to worry about that, and then it just all kind of like comes flying at you. It's amazing.
That's the thing, is that when you're properly trained,
Yeah.
in other words, when your mind is in the right place, you got everything in place, you're setting the stage for your mind to be open, and all of a sudden, all this information that wants to come in, all this information is surrounding us all the time. We just aren't open to it. And it's a good thing, because we got to eat, we got to sleep, we got to poop, we got to drive to the store. We have to use our logical brain to figure out little details and solve problems all day long. We can't just walk around going, I'm just a walking ball of intuition. A couple of fairy tale princesses can get through life that way. That's pretty awesome. That's where we came up with the term. But most of us have to go through, and we're gonna slog through the day. So if we're going to be doing something like this, we have to put ourselves in the right mindset. We have to open ourselves up and go, okay, I'm ready to do this. That's how we get there. Now, quick commercial break here. Does this actually work? Question mark. I've been doing too much speech and text, right? Mandy is out there doing it all the time. No offense by just not insulting her, but she started phone lines. She went to do public readings out in the marketplace, right? Hey, here I am, and became a smash hit, highly in demand with repeat clients, and evolved into doing the fair circuit and reading for some of the most prestigious, or reading at, technically for, because it was sponsored by the university, some of the most prestigious universities in the world. Another student, I don't want to start giving out names, look, I'll give you out names all day long, but I got to make sure I get permission from them. Other students are doing punk rock shows, punk rock swap markets, flea markets, that type of things. Kind of cool. Others, $100 an hour at parties, and they never thought they'd get this. Others are reading for, these are my particular students. So, all of you, go get trained by somebody. Reading for Halloween parties every single year with the same Beverly Hills Hollywood client elite. Other students, a couple $1,000s a month on retainer as a psychic, as I've been telling you guys to be doing this. Yes, this works. Will it work for you? Here's where the Federal Trade Commission and I agree. There are no guarantees in life. I can't guarantee this. I'm not going to sell you pie in the sky. I can't guarantee you'll make a dime at this, and I'm not going to guarantee you're going to make a dime at this. And I can't say you get out what you put in, because life isn't fair. We will give you study groups. We will work with you. We will answer your questions. We have as many lessons as you want. If you want to come in for the full course, we'll keep you around for 2 years. And that doesn't mean 2 years. Oh my God, I got 10 years. Like, you're actually out there in the world reading. You just happen to keep going to school, because you don't pick this all up in a day. Sure, you can read a book. I wrote a book. You can read my book. You can read somebody else's book. But if you're going to be doing this, the reason why Mandy is still a private student of mine is she's out there. She's already learned this stuff. She's making money. At this point, what we have discovered together, I want to say what I've taught her, but at this point, she's discovering things on her own. That's the whole point. That's how the student-teacher relationship works. What we've discovered together is more than paying for her lessons, and her lessons make her even better. It's like there is no ultra successful executive who is not constantly out there learning and has their own mentor. So don't think of school as something like, well, I go to school and then I graduated and never have to go to school again. Well, that's fine if you want to work in a factory. But if you want to be awesome, we want to help you.
Yeah,
Right,
as I'm discovering things and trying new techniques or just sort of trying new things that are coming out in the tarot readings. I mean, because I know I have my lesson with you every week, I run things by you that I have discovered, possibly on my own, just to kind of talk it through and maybe enhance it further or tweak it a bit. It's really, I don't know. I wouldn't. It's just not even a consideration to stop having the lessons.
Most of these are good information. Almost everything you bring to the table is valid and only needs a little adjustment, if any. So as you go along, folks, you get better at it.
Yeah, but it's stopping me from going like completely kind of off the rails. And as a person that was, did a very long run in a world famous West End show, they didn't just rehearse us in and then just sort of like leave us to get on with it. The directors, the management came in and watched that show a couple of times a week and gave notes.
Right.
That's how it works.
It's an ongoing interactive process. Absolutely.
Yeah. But you can't come out and sit with me on every reading just to make sure I'm doing it right. So that's why it's my responsibility, I feel, to check in with you every week and flag up any new discoveries or things that I'm kind of wanting to try. That's how I am as a person, and this is all about being organic.
Absolutely. So there's the moral of the story, kids. Never stop learning. And it's not like, oh, that's a life lesson. We're telling you how to make money. We're telling you how to have a better quality of life, how not to be labeled in or lumped in with the rest of the chumps out there who just think they're too smart, for all of this. It's like just do it. Yay, Nike. All right, we're out of here. See you guys soon. Love you guys. Thank you very much for listening. Go out there, try to be nice to each other. If you can't, well, try not to beat them up too bad. And if you have any questions, write me at dustywhite.net. That's the email. Hate mail to santaclaus@northpole.com. And I don't know.
I can
guess
just
all
see
that's left to do now.
Santa sitting there going, why are all these hate mails coming to me?
And I'm Santa. Okay, bye for now.
Bye.